In the hushed whispers of ancient scrolls and the fading echoes of time, one name reigns supreme, Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary sage whose wisdom transcends the ages. Tales of his mystical prowess and divine insights have woven themselves into the fabric of history, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of human consciousness. But who was Trismegistus? Step into the shadows of antiquity with me and let us unravel the mysteries of the revered figure whose name invokes both reverence and intrigue. Hermes Trismegistus, known as the Thrice Great, emerges from the mist of ancient Egypt as a beacon of wisdom and enlightenment. In the sacred temples and secret chambers of the pharaohs, he delved into the mysteries of the cosmos, seeking to unlock the secrets of existence itself. Now let us journey into the heart of Hermetic wisdom, guided by the timeless teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus, whose name translates to Hermes the Thrice Great, embodies the convergence of Egyptian and Greek mythologies. He's revered as a master of alchemy, astrology, and a bridge between the earthly and the divine, the seen and the unseen. The wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus is encapsulated in texts such as the Corpus Hermeticum and the Emerald Tablets, sacred scrolls that illuminate the paths to spiritual enlightenment. Through these ancient writings, Hermes imparts timeless truths that transcend the boundaries of time and space. We can't talk about Hermes without mentioning the book The Kybalion, a modern-day treasure trove of Hermetic wisdom. This book dives deep into the principles of Hermetic philosophy, offering practical insight into how we can apply these ancient teachings to our modern lives. The Kybalion outlines several key principles of Hermetic philosophy, each offering a unique perspective on the nature of reality and the workings of the universe. Let's dive into each principle and unpack the significance. Principle 1, the principle of mentalism. This principle teaches us that the universe is mental in nature and that all is mind. It emphasizes the power of our thoughts and beliefs in shaping our reality. Where does an idea come from? Does it come from God? Does it come from ourselves? It just appears in our head. These ideas often create things. The iPhone, cars, buildings, cities, all created from someone's idea or a collection of ideas that just popped in people's heads. Maybe the touch of God, maybe the divine inner God and the divine spark. Anything you think can be your reality. To kind of not go off subject here, but I wouldn't be doing a Hermeticism podcast without bringing up DMT in a douchey spiritual way. But I took DMT back in 2019. And one of the lessons I received was my thoughts were my reality. I lived and projected the world of what I thought. If I thought of something negative, and DMT actually showed me this in a pretty realistic trip, if you can say. Then everything I saw outside my eyes, if I thought of something bad outside, I saw stuff bad. If I thought of something great, like the word love, actually, that was a safety word I had when I was on DMT. Everything around me turned beautiful, and all of a sudden this fear went away, and I felt comfort and happiness and being okay with being vulnerable. This is a principle of mentalism. Principle number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle highlights the interconnectedness of the macrocosm and the microcosm, showing how the patterns of the universe are reflected in the smallest aspects of life. If you look at the universe from far away and then zoom in on atoms, you get a similar look, a similar pattern. All of life seems to be like this. If you zoom into a pattern of a leaf, you'll see veins that almost look like rivers from a bird's eye view of the Nile, for example. Principle 3, the principle of vibration. Everything in the universe is in constant motion and vibration. This principle reminds us that we are energetic beings and that our thoughts and emotions create vibrations that attract similar energies into our lives. How you conduct yourself, what you eat, what you do with your free time, what you fill your brain with, tends to add effect to your vibration, is basically what this principle is saying. And that there are other things around you are vibrating. Have you ever had a bad coworker or maybe a family member walk in the room and you feel it? You feel the tension. You're feeling the bad vibration. You ever walk in or have coffee with someone and walk out of there feeling great, smiling? They probably had a great vibration. When I'm out in nature, I believe that nature, especially in the mountains, Sequoia National Park where I live, I almost find myself naturally just smiling, which is rare for me. I'm not a big smiler. But when I'm walking in the mountains, I'll just catch myself smiling. And I believe that is due to the frequency of the vibration of nature itself impacting me since I'm engulfed in it up in the mountains. That is the principle of vibration. Principle number 4, the principle of polarity. Everything has its opposite, light and dark, hot and cold, good and bad. This principle teaches us that these opposites are complementary and necessary for balance and growth. Have you ever loved someone and then got in a big fight and felt yourself hating them? Or maybe you hate someone and then all of a sudden you love them after a time. Maybe you're angry and then all of a sudden you're happy. The principle of polarity is saying these things are connected. The best metaphor, I think, or depiction of how to describe this would be your thermostat. Nowhere on your thermostat, when you change it from hot to cold or cold to hot, nowhere does hot end and cold start, or cold end and heat start. It blends in together. The heat becomes, warm and then kind of cold, cooler, and then freezing. This blend is really what the principle of polarity is describing. The power of the principle of polarity is if you're very frustrated and angry, understand that line is connected and at the other end is happiness and bliss. So when you're feeling angry, how do you calm yourself down and make yourself in happy and bliss? Heaven on earth, if you will. Or what if it's some other person that comes to you? I recently had an interaction with I was flying my drone out in the countryside, and the owner of the land drove up pretty angrily, I could tell, and took pictures of my license plate and approached me very aggressively. He was obviously very mad that I was flying a drone, although I was doing it legally. He does not own the airspace. And I just decided to kind of put this principle in practice. And I was able slowly to calm him down to where he actually gave me a compliment. Said, a lot of people out here that hang out here or fly drones or do whatever they do out here, they're not as nice as you. So I appreciate it. Drove off, friendly wave, and that was that. But to take someone from very angry and to know you could maybe manipulate their mind into bringing them into more of your energy, more of your vibration, but in the law of the polarity, where you're taken from angry into comfort and bliss and relaxation. That's kind of what I think about the principle of polarity. The principle of rhythm, number 5. The universe operates in cycles and rhythms, from the changing of the seasons to the rise and fall of civilizations. This principle invites us to flow with natural rhythms, life, rather than resist them. The principle of rhythm. I like to think of it as a grandfather clock. You have the swinging of the pendulum, I believe it's called, in the clock, going back and forth. Think that as maybe positive and negative. We all know that life has both good times and bad times, hard times and joyous times. Seems like we're always thinking it's just going to be good for the rest of our lives, that no bad times are going to come, but yes, indeed, they will. The principle of rhythm kind of says this, that, this is the rhythm of life. Now, how do you avoid bad times? Well, one trick from my research on the Kybalion and these types of subjects is to almost be ignorant. Ignorant is probably the wrong word to use, but to kind of ignore it. Don't give it attention. When you're going through bad times, keep going, and kind of rise above the rhythm to the master plane, if you will. All right, principle number 6, the principle of cause and effect. Every action has a corresponding reaction. For every cause, there is an effect. The principle emphasizes personal responsibility and the power of our choices to shape our destiny. This is pretty straightforward in my opinion. If you do something, you're going to get something out of it. You have an action, you'll get a reaction. Simply sitting around and waiting will not do it. Your thoughts, your energy, everything you put into something, you'll get something back. And how much you put into it, you'll get back. For all you Christian listeners, reap what you sow, I believe puts it best. Principle number 7, and the last principle. The principle of gender. The masculine and feminine energies are present in everything, and both are necessary for creation and manifestation. The principle invites us to embrace the balance these energies within ourselves. Everyone is made up, whether you like to admit it or not, of feminine and masculine. Some people try to be fully masculine or fully feminine, but we all have a little bit of both. And masculine and feminine doesn't actually mean the sex. You can kind of think of it as the masculine energy is a creator. Get a woman pregnant, something you're creating. The feminine energy is something that expands on that creation, grows, nurtures that creation, like nurturing a baby, if you will. You can think of it as electricity. Usually they have a masculine part and a feminine part. The plug that enters into the plug. Some Hindu texts talk about men are destroyers, then who create. Women are nurture and peaceful. One might sound bad to the other, but really it's not. It's just what they are. And they complement each other. And the union of the masculine energy and the feminine energy is something beautiful. Two becoming one, if you will. The legacy of Hermes Trismegistus endures as a beacon of light in the darkness of ignorance, guiding seekers on the quest for truth and enlightenment. His teachings continue to inspire generations of mystics, philosophers, and truth seekers to awaken to the divine spark. As we conclude our exploration of Hermes Trismegistus and the Kybalion, let us carry forth the torch of wisdom and illuminate the path for future generations. May we walk in the footsteps of the thrice great and unlock the secrets of the universe that lie hidden within our souls. Thank you for joining me on this sacred journey, dear seekers. Until we meet again, and in the realm of ancient wisdom, may you be guided by the light of Hermes Trismegistus and the eternal flame of truth.